Alright, in this video we're going to deal with some basic console troubleshooting, some common things that kind of come up with console. One thing is console hanging, or appearing to be frozen or not responding, which is pretty common. It's a bit of a buggy application, unfortunately. If you've got console open but it's not showing up and you're kind of seeing the force quit coming up, or it's just freezing in general, the way to deal with that pretty much right off the bat is just to restart the computer. Usually what it means is there's maybe multiple users logged in, or there's a permissions error happening, and a simple restart of the computer will take care of that. Then when you come back open, console should open up fine. I wouldn't waste too much time trying to close it and reopen it if it freezes. Usually you can, even if you force quit it and then try to reopen it without restarting, it'll still hang again. So you need to do that restart in order to get it back up. So then in console, a really common problem, or a problem that can come up pretty regularly, is not having all the inputs muted. You're going to get weird doubling that you're probably hearing on my voice now. If you're trying to monitor through your DAW and also have the console inputs unmuted. So if you option click, you'll mute them all, and then you won't have this weird kind of doubling effect. So that's something you should always check, make sure those are muted, unless you're trying to monitor through console, but that's not suggested unless you're already an expert with this software. Another thing you might find is the vocals or whatever instrument you're recording sound a bit weird, sound like they're affected even if you don't have effects on. So what might have happened is someone else might have been in this room and might have put some plugins on these channels, and if you've got all these plugins engaged, then the vocals are gonna sound a little different. I mean, we can even do this, and I might have some distortion on my voice now, I'm not sure. But what you want to do is you want to come in here and remove these. So you just right click, go down to remove, make sure there's nothing in the inserts column, and then you'll be all good on that front. What else? Oh yeah, the last thing I wanted to check, obviously we have our actual default settings with Q outputs. Important that these are set like this, so line 1, 2, line 3, 4, line 7, 8 there. Then in your settings, your hardware settings, Q bus is at 3, talkback switch is assigned, delay compensation is at short. If you go to the I/O matrix, sometimes there's issues here where for whatever reason stuff gets kind of wonky and set to the wrong things. You can always load a default setting, and that will often reset everything kind of to just the way that it needs to be. The default settings work. It might erase the Q outputs, so if you reload a default setting and then have to do the Q outputs again, that's not a big deal. Just go back through and kind of do all your preliminary settings, and you should be good to go. Other than that, that about covers it. Those are usually the issues. I've said this in other videos, but restarting the computer will usually solve your console problems. Sometimes, especially with this program, because it's really buggy, stuff will just kind of get wonky, and you just need to restart to set it right.